Hello, everyone, and welcome again. This is Reverend Dr. Gilberto Rosado. Today is VPM Day, Viral Political Machine Day. I do everything political and viral, hopefully. And so let's get to it. Today we're doing some reviews or commentary on some tweets on Twitter. And I have another tweet for you here today. What we do here, what I'm trying to do is show what people are saying and talk about it a little bit with some reasoning, and we invite chats or commentary. Also, I will entertain them in this show. Don't do it all the time, but in this show, yeah. Okay, so let's get on with it. Today we're looking at these tweets on my software, and we have this fellow I had replied to already, but I wanted to make a point of his tweet there, and his or hers, I don't know really, but it says, I'm admitting it, he says. The people who voted for Trump, voted third party, or didn't vote, made a massive mistake. I voted for Clinton. Okay? So what we're talking about today is, was voting for Trump a mistake, as this person says? And, given the fact that he voted for Clinton, and the fact that Clinton simply did not win, I mean, what is the basis for saying something is a mistake? And this shows a little bit of the problem we have in this country. I'm going to tell you what it is. People here are forgetting that they're Americans. This is what's happening to this country. We're forgetting that we are Americans. We are citizens of the United States of America. When we go into the voting booth, that is not a mistake. Anyone we vote for in that sacred booth is never a mistake. We are exercising the rights that people died for, good men and women, young men and young women, gave their blood in the field of battle to preserve our right to vote. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not a mistake. So the sentiment here that this country voted for a mistake or made a mistake in selecting its head of government, head of state, I think is the mistake, in fact, that you all are committing. That is the severest mistake of all. You're mistaking the political parties and this side and that side. You're mistaking that for democracy. It isn't. It is a mechanism. It is a mechanism of and for democracy. It is not democracy. Democracy is what goes on in the area that this gentleman or woman calls a mistake. And it's unfortunate that this person calls it a mistake. It's never a mistake. Now, simply, yeah, there's things that would avail Trump or the presidency, whoever it is, to learn, to change, to grow in. That those are other conversations. And frankly, every president that has ever been, and any leader for that matter of fact, ever in the history of mankind, has always had to learn a thing or two. It's not a crime. It's not a lacking, somehow a disqualifier. And you have this other notion that becoming a leader of the United States is something that you have to have so many particular qualifications that are somehow left out of the Constitution. I think is also another big mistake that people are making. The office of presidency is for any qualified United States citizen. It has, I've heard so many things being said about Trump and this and that, and that have nothing to do with the qualifications for the presidency of the United States. Simply, is he a United States citizen? Was he born in the United States of America? Because as far as I can tell, is he over 35? I mean, these are the prerequisites of being the president of the United States. I am qualified to be the president of the United States. I find it, so contrary to the Constitution and to what this country stands for anyone to infer that I cannot run and sit in the seat in the Oval Office as President of the United States. That seat is for a civilian. It's for a man or woman of our society to have and to be president, to oversee this country as a citizen of it over the military for 4 years and for 8 if the people so will it. And that should be the only qualification there should be, and in fact is. So all of this gobbledygook, baloney, and cow doo-doo, talking about all this other stuff, it's all political. Believe me, I'm the viral political machine. I know. I can tell you that's political garbage. It's political garbage. And for you guys to keep repeating this garbage means you're full of, you know what? You're just full of it. It's apparent. And you can have friends that talk crap and you guys listen and eat crap, right? And you believe crap. Simple. Because you keep repeating the same crap all the time. And you stop believing it, which is a shame. A lot of Christians are involved in that. Which goes to show, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Listen, you had the silliness now a few days ago with the Dorian hurricane. Look at what some of you guys said. God is sending a message to Trump that hurricane gonna decimate his Mar-a-Lago resort hotel, whatever, his compound over there, right? That's what you said. Oh, it's a punishment from God. Even God, I had someone say, even God doesn't like Trump. Really? It never touched Florida, silly. So now let's continue with your insight. Let us take your wonderful, glorious, correct insight that God is going to make His will known through this hurricane. And now what? What does that tell you? Or are you such a hypocrite, the hypocrite that we know you are, that now you can't swallow it? See that? So, you couldn't get it clear. It was funny how the hurricane, and it wasn't funny, it's actually quite sad that it just sat over Bahamas the way it did. But it didn't come into Florida. And all these people talking baloney about God showing us that Trump is wrong, he's wrong, this and that. You guys need to pack up and get someplace else because you're doing the wrong thing and you're bringing God into it. Don't do that. Leave that to me because you know what? I'm what you call in your sphere a professional. Okay, that's my business. That's my area of expertise. All right, I have a personal phone line. Okay, don't pretend to speak for God. That's not your business. That's not your vocation. It's mine. Understand? So it's abusive. Don't do that. It's abuse. You're abusing the people. And it's unfortunate a lot of people don't realize when they're getting abused. You guys don't know that. You just don't know when they're pulling the wool over your eyes. You guys are just not understanding. So you guys gotta correct that. Now, when Obama ran, I wasn't supportive of Obama, but you know what? I didn't mind it. I was happy. He became president because for me it's just a race. That's what it is, a race. This Democrat, Republican, which one's gonna win? I look at it as a race. I look at it as a coin toss. But I know God makes the decisions. So when Obama won, wasn't my choice, right? But I was happy. I was happy. You said this country really pulled through and got over our perceptions that it was racist. Simply, we voted for Obama. Hey, fantastic. Okay, so let's do away with this perception that the U.S. is racist. But yet, you see, it's always the same side. You got your win. You won. You have a black man in the White House, and then you're still trying to use the racism now. It's just ridiculous. You guys have to realize how they use the racism card as a manipulation. I know you guys are sensitive. I know they get on my case every time I mention it. Everybody's on pins and needles. And oh, you had to go there. I don't want to talk about all this. So what? We're hiding things under the carpet? Is that the way you run your house? I don't do it that way, by the way. I like things out in the open. I like the truth. I like transparency. Let's bring it out in the open. Let's talk. Okay? I don't hide those things because those things are not good. As a psychotherapist, it's not a good thing to be hiding and living under the imprisonment of your own mind, or having someone else have control over you because of your little secrets. So if you need some therapy, we can talk. I'm a therapist. Come. You can look me up online, and if you have the money, you pay the fee. If you don't, come to church. It's free. Some people say, "Oh, why are you charging? Why are you charging to help people?" It's free to come to church. I help you for free. Okay. Now you don't want to come to church, then you send me a nickel for the trouble, because I already done spoke for 2 hours on Sunday, and I've been doing that for years. Okay, so that's it. That's the way I look at it. Okay. So anyway, here it is. I figured this country was great. Listen, you pulled through. You did a good thing. Obama was president 8 years. Come on. All right. So listen. Now, what is the issue? Why can't we have some cooperation and let this country move forward? Let's keep moving, because we have a whole bunch of people not realizing that there is a game plan on this planet, and that game plan is to shove aside the United States of America. It's simple. If you don't see it, you're not looking. And Trump here is doing his best, and it's pretty good, to stop that slide backwards that others allowed the country to slide into. And he's doing a pretty good job. And you can see that he's not only tackling China, North Korea, and Iran, but also the United States and the hard-headed people we have in this country. That's a lot. One thing is China, they're Chinese. Another thing is North Korea, they're North Koreans. Another thing is Russia, they're Russians. Another thing is Iran, they're Iranians. And even ISIS, they're ISIS. But then also they have the BS here at home. I mean, you ever heard of the phrase, the needle that broke the camel's back? I mean, come on. But even with all of it, we have a man who's standing tall. And God, who hasn't sent the hurricane to hit his little hometown or his Mar-a-Lago like everybody wanted. So I think if anyone made a mistake, In 2016, it was everyone who is against this United States of America. And I'm going to say it just like it is because it's going to hurt a lot of you. Yeah, you were tearing that night. You were foolish. You were simply fools. You got duped. Yeah, it had nothing to do with Trump. It had to do with a false concept of your own imagination and of a party, DNS or DNC, I think, DNC, who is all too willing to pull your strings. Simple as that. So that's the mistake. If you are against Trump right now, you are in error. You're in error. And that's as plain as simple as I'm going to make it, because you are refuting, if you're a Christian. Matter of fact, if you are a child of God and you are against Trump right now, you are in error. You're not going to like it. But the Bible tells me, it says it in English, and it's not just my interpretation. This is not an issue of Hebrew. I can help you with that, too. It's not an issue of Spanish. I can do that. Not an issue of Greek. I can do that. Okay? And English, King James Version, I can do that. It says clearly that God is the one who raises kings and brings them down. Simple as that. When Obama became president, I was happy. Did I support Obama president? No. It wasn't my candidate. It wasn't the one I was supporting. And I had my reasons, which I explained in other videos, and I do it all the time. But he wasn't my candidate. Well, you know what? I wasn't crying when he became president. I wasn't crying. I was quite happy. And I was happy, oh my goodness, you should have seen me. You know why I was happy? I was happy for all the black people. All the black people. Because I have teachings and therapy because of the damages done by slavery on the culture. So these are things that I deal with on a deeper level than just just slavery and this and that, racism. No. I go deeper than that. And I appreciated when this country voted for Obama and he became president. You know what? Fantastic. I was happy, and I observed the communities and the people, right? But again, since you guys aren't getting taught the right way, now we got this. Now our white guys in the White House. Now we got this racism back into play. You see, because they all they did, the powers that be, was to put away the racism card for a little bit, to then bring it, because they want to use that, because they know that controls you. You guys got to get a little smarter than that. They're going to always pull out that racism card. It's almost like with the Hispanics. There's also a card they play with the Hispanics, and the Hispanics use against others, and against other Hispanics when there's a partisan division among them. See, but that's manipulation. That's abuse. That's abusive, especially when it comes to the Black American descendants of slaves, DOS. That is abuse. As a psychotherapist, I tell you that it is. And everyone that is engaging in this racism thing is abusing the Black American, the descendant of slaves. You're being abused. And until you get to the point of realizing that when someone starts talking about racism and realizing that they're trying to control you, We're never going to get anywhere. And you as a people will not rise. You need to rise above it. Because they'll always use that against you. And in the extent they're controlling you for their benefit. You know who I'm talking about. It's sad to watch. It's an abuse. I will die criticizing it. That's my last message in the USA. And as I'm living, I will leave this planet saying that. You guys really need to go over that and overcome that. That they're controlling you. You're being controlled. And I say that as a psychotherapist, a person who helps other people going through problems, people being oppressed by others. I know what it looks like and what it smells like, and that's what you have. So you guys need to understand that. So that is what is happening. So you guys really need to make a change in the way you're looking at things and overcome the tactics that people use to control you. Okay, it's not the people you think that are antagonizing you. It's the people who are flirting you. They're fluffing you up. They're trying to corral you in a group. Say, we're this group. This is our group. You see, within a country that's called the United States, the only group that should be here is called Americans. Are you an American? That's it. That is it. It's not different groups. And that's another tactic that they use in order to control you by keeping you a group instead of being Americans. And that's really why this guy or gal says that it was a mistake, because according to his groupthink, it wasn't right. And according to that other groupthink, it wasn't right. And other things are this way. Certain groups see things this way, and other groups see things that way. But Americans should see things in an American way. That's really the way we should see things. And that's my challenge to you. If you want to be free within the construct of America, because that's the thing, to be free as an American, then you need to be an American. If you claim liberty under the American ideal, then you need to be American. Can't be a group inside America, which is what they're. If you hear the messages, what are they talking about? This group, this group. What are you on a reservation? They want to put all you blacks in a reservation. I say you, I should say me too, right? I got black in my family. You can tell, huh? They want to corral us into little groups so that they can control. You got the Indians in their group. You got the blacks in their group and communities. Isn't that a nice community over there? Yeah. And we got all these little groups here and there. What happened to America? Where are the Americans? Somebody should write a book there. Where are the Americans? Where are they? The Americans voted and they won. Their candidate won in 2016. And the only ones trying to keep this country divided or to divide the country, the only one who benefits from that are the Democrats. I'm sorry to say it. GOP does not benefit from that. Only the DNC benefits from that. Because it's a group of people, they're all divided, but their only hope is the DNC. That's a group that's like, you need the massa. The massa is taking care of us. So, you remember the slaves didn't all come from one place in Africa now. They came from different places in Africa. Right? But again, it's the massa and us. See? Although we're from different places. So the ones who benefit from this are the is the DNC, and the DNC plays this to the hilt. They always play it to the hilt. The GOP, the Republicans, play up the flag. That's the rallying flag, the U.S. flag, the Constitution. What makes America America? And that's why you hear the slogans, keep America great or make America great again and all that. You hear those because that is what we are, American. We're not celebrating, this group or that group. I can celebrate, hey, Puerto Ricans, Spanish. I could go around saying that. But that's not what America's about. It's not about that. It's good that I am who I am, and I have my roots and my history, my ancestry, etc., etc. But that's not what makes America great. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And for these groups to have life and subsistence, they have to destroy America. See, as long as America is great and strong, and you even heard them say America was never great. You see that? That happens when you start focusing on the groups instead of focusing on the country. And I'm sorry, I appreciate your group, my group, the Puerto Ricans, but you guys didn't do Make America. We didn't make America. We didn't discover America. We didn't open America up. We didn't get the oil. We didn't get the gold. We didn't build the industrial infrastructure of this country. We may have slaved at it, but we didn't, conceive of it and put it together and find a way to make it happen. That wasn't our doing. That was the doing of America, the USA. Everything that the summation of all of its efforts. And that's what it was. Its dreams, its desires, its strength, its hope. So now instead of staying together with that dream and desire, because we have room to grow, ladies and gentlemen. We got a universe out there waiting, and we're here fighting with each other. It seems so silly, nonsense. This is where it's getting to these days. We have a whole universe to go out, to be together, to be united, and reach out and make new discoveries and really, fulfill the American dream extraterrestrially, if you will. No reason not to. And we're just tit for tat here in this minuscule concern of this group versus that group. That is the mistake. I don't hate anyone who didn't vote for Trump. You exercise your right to vote. I'm hoping you use reason and not the silliness that we've been discussing all along in this broadcast today. I hope you use reason behind your vote. But this silly nonsense, we're gonna take another moment. Just look at some of the nonsense that it goes for political reasoning here. It says here. Let's see here. I think it's. It says here. Look, here's Merrill 183. I was always a Republican, but will never vote for Donald Trump ever. This is the political reasoning. Listen to this. He is a disgrace and has brought the GOP down to a pigsty. So again, we have political discussion, and the only thing that this person has to say about Trump and the reason for not voting Trump is that he's what? A disgrace? On what level? In what arena is he a disgrace? Personal? Because this is not even qualifying where the disgrace is. Where does it apply to? That he's personally a disgraceful person? Right? To you, he has lost grace in your eyes because why? He said something, he did something, or he somehow typifies something that you don't agree with? Is that why? That's why he can't be president? Because as a human being, he is a disgrace in your eyes and in your view? The problem with that is that that was never, ever a qualifier or a disqualifier to be president of the United States of America. You only, secondly, the only reason you know about his disgraceful behavior or sayings is because we live in 2019. Because if this was 1920, you would never have been able to say that he was a disgrace. And yet he would have been president. You know, he would the president you didn't know because there was no tweeting, there was no communication. Was there radio in 1929? I doubt it, but it could have been. But you know, there wasn't. Yeah, there was radio, right? You had. Well, we'll see. I'm not up to date on when the radio got in, but everyone didn't have one. The communication wasn't coming out like that from Washington D.C. As far as I know, they're still doing the Pony Express till the early 1900s. Hey, am I right or wrong? I could be. I got to get back into my American history. That's been a long time, my college days. My goodness. But uh, that's the we had. If you don't know, we had some pretty questionable presidents in our history. Did you realize that? Do people realize that these days? You had shady characters. Trump is a saint compared to some of the shadiest characters that got into the White House in this country. And not too far long ago either. You really had some, I mean, you have people who were walking around naked. That should shock you. I'm sure this lady would be shocked to know that we had a president who was walking around naked in front of other people, in front of a minister, matter of fact. Did you know that? Okay. Disgraceful. And that's just what we know. We don't know about what presidents were doing on the weekends. Okay. What type of people they, things they did. We don't know that. Out of all the fact that all the presidents we've had in history, Trump is by no means the worst person to be in the White House. Okay. It's just that you don't know what those other persons were like, what they really were like, not their political persona, and not how history paints it all nice and dandy. Even with the ones they criticize, because you just don't know the details. No one knew the details. When they went out to camp, no one knew who went with them and who they found on the way and what they did. You don't know. Today we know everything. Today, there's things that they can say about Trump that even he didn't realize. I didn't realize I did that, or I was there. What? I don't even remember, right? There's things that we can tell him about himself that he doesn't even know. So yeah, yeah. And I can tell you, I can see where someone would say he's a disgrace, personally. But the other statements that you're making are really unfair. They're unfair to the GOP, a lot of good men and women, and also for the Democrats, a lot of good men and women, Democrats. We're in no way disparaging people. I think you broad brushing people, saying things like that. What is that supposed to mean to somebody like a Trump voter? Oh, he is a disgrace and has brought the GOP down. Right? That's your opinion, obviously. Does that really mean anything anymore? In fact, the only reason that that tweet has any life beyond when they wrote it is because I looked at it and I'm putting it on the air right now. Or else it would die in obscurity, you know? Because that opinion doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. It will not affect anything or anyone because you're talking about something that's personal. There's people who look at me here in the broadcast. They don't like my hair. Why don't you shave? There's someone else concerned about the way I put the glasses on, the way I'm dressed. Your voice is raspy, and all whatever else. It's just oh, you're fat. All kinds of just stupid expressions. So it really doesn't matter. And those opinions don't matter at all either. Now, when we're talking about his effectiveness as the head of the United States and representing the concerns and the will of the American people, now we got something to talk about. But a disgrace, a pigsty? No. He can run a pigsty. He could be personally a pig. But the other leaders and the deals that he's making for the country and the position that he's making, keeping the United States in line with or presenting amongst the nations of the world, they can have their own opinion too. But that has nothing to do with the country called the United States of America and the dealings in the world. It really doesn't have anything to do. Because the bottom line is this country wields a lot of power. But it's comments like this and thinking, worse, the comments are fine, but the thinking behind it and the spreading of that stupidity behind these comments around, it undermines the country. Yeah, yeah, you'll see. See, when you make the country fall, you'll see Trump stumble. And that's what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to make the country trip so that you can see Trump stumble. And what a foolish man and foolish woman you are. Totally. He's going to go out. He's going to go out in another few years. You really? It's you want to destroy the United States of America when for something or someone that has to leave in a few years. It was a simple thing to say, you know what? We tried our best. We threw all the money we could muster. Didn't work. We threw the sink. We threw everything we could. Right? He still became president. I said, you know what? Good for him. That's all that needed to happen. Good for him. Congratulations, GOP. Congratulations, Trump supporter. Let's now get to work. Let's get together. We don't agree on everything, but that was it, ladies and gentlemen. To continue this barrage is only undermining the country. It's not doing anything to Trump. Nothing. What does this do to Trump? Nothing. Getting Trump out of office means what? He goes back to his pigsty of a business, making billions of dollars a year. Duh. Like I want to talk Spanish now because I can read Spanish. You know, it's like it's so simply and so obviously. This is just stupid, total stupidity. Defend your country. You're an American. Defend your country. This is the United States of America. Defend your country. Support your country. Forget the Trump is in the White House. Forget it. Move on. What are we doing about our country to defend her, to make her strong? Because we're under attack. We're under attack from the outside. You guys are being manipulated by enemy forces outside the country. You're being manipulated to weaken the country. It isn't about Trump. Wake up and smell the coffee. They're manipulating you. And the more and more these outside forces manipulate and control you, you're thinking you're American. You're standing up for America, right? Right? Yeah, right. Baloney. Because you're undermining the country. Respect the office of the president. Respect the democratic process. And let's move on. Okay? That's the mistake that you're making. Making this an issue of Trump. That was your mistake. It was your mistake and the reason, in fact, that he won. Because you made it a thing about Trump and that was your mistake. And you're still doing it now. Because it isn't about Trump. It was never about Trump. It was about the United States of America. And united we stand, but divided we fall. It's in your anthem. It's in your pledge. It just makes sense. 2020, get you some sense. I'll see you later.